நிஜமான கதைகளு சுவையோடு சுகமாக உருவான கதைகளு.
குட்டி ஸ்டோரியோட ஒலி புத்தக பகுதியில் இன்னைக்கு நாம் பார்க்க போகிற நூல் மேக்நாத் சாகா. எழுதியவர் அனில் குமார். மேக்நாத் சாகாவை பற்றின சின்ன அறிமுகம் தான் இந்த நூல். இந்த நூலை எழுதினவர் அனில் குமார் அவர்கள். மேக்நாத் சாகா யாருன்னு உங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியுமா? மேக்நாத் சாகா இந்தியாவும் பங்களாதேஷும் ஒரே நாடாக இருந்தப்போ பங்களாதேஷில் பிறந்தவர். அதுக்கப்புறம் அவரோட படிப்பு, வேலை எல்லாமே அவர் இந்தியாவில் தான் பார்த்தாரு. மேக்நாத் சாகா யார், அவர் என்னெல்லாம் சாதனை பண்ணியிருக்காருன்னு இந்த நூலில் விரிவாக சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. என்னதான் விஞ்ஞானியாக இருந்தாலும் அணுசக்தியால் மக்களுக்கு ஏற்படுற பாதிப்பை அவர் ஒரு நாளும் ஆதரிச்சதில்லை. அது மட்டும் இல்லை, அணுசக்தி மருத்துவத்துறைக்கு மட்டும்தான் பயன்படணும்னு அவரோட கருத்தை ரொம்ப ஆழமாக எல்லா இடத்துலையும் பதிவிட்டிருக்காரு. அரசியல் தளத்துலேயும் சமூகத்திலையும் அவர் இன்னும் நிறைய பல விஷயங்களை செஞ்சுருக்காரு. அது எல்லாத்தையும் பற்றி நீங்கள் இன்னும் ஆழமாக தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கான சின்ன அறிமுகம் தான் இந்த நூல். மேக்நாத் சாகா, written by அனில் குமார். Bangladesh was once a part of India. Village Shebratali of Dhaka in East Bengal was situated on the bank of river Kansai. The family of Meghnath Saga used to live in the village. The family was considered to be somewhat backward and low in society. Meghnath Saga had a small grocery shop. It was the only source of his livelihood. He had 8 children. The family was big. Therefore, the meager income from the shop could barely provide for their needs. The credit for running the family on a meager salary must go to Bhuvaneshwari Devi, wife of Meghnath Saga. She was an expert in managing the household affairs. Meghnath Saga was born in this family as the 5th child on October 6, 1893. His childhood was very ordinary. He had been a proud and determined person since childhood. Meghnath used to sit at the shop with his father. He would read books there in the shop whenever he got time. Meghnath used to walk bare feet to school. He did not possess nice clothes. His school bag was also old and tattered. Even then, his teachers were impressed with him because he didn't even need to revise whatever was taught to him. His mind was very sharp enough to comprehend everything in one reading. He always stood first in every exam. Village Shebratali did not have any school after class 5th. Therefore, he had to go to village Simulia to study. Village Simulia was 7 miles away from his village. He used to walk down to school. Therefore, his elder brother Jainath made arrangements for his stay at Dr. Anil Kumar Das of Simulia. Saha used to do household chores like tending his pet cow apart from studies. Dr. Meghnath Saga stood first in class 8th by dint of his merit and dedication. He came first not only in his village school but also in the entire Dhaka district. Therefore, he began receiving scholarship. The difficulties coming in the way of his studies had also considerably diminished by then. He went to Dhaka for further studies after class 8. At that time, he was 13 years old. He took admission in the collegiate school of Dhaka. Meghnath stood first in every class. Therefore, he continued to get scholarship. His fee was also waived off. Meanwhile, the freedom movement was gaining momentum in the country. The students in Bengal participated enthusiastically in the movement. Meghnath Saga did not attend the function organized in honor of the governor of Bengal, Sir Bamfield Fuller, who was on an inspection tour of the college. Meghnath Saga declared a strike in the college and boycotted the classes. The governor got enraged. He rusticated many students, including Meghnath Saga, from the college. His scholarship was also stopped. It got him into trouble. His problem was solved by Kishore Lal Jubilee School of Dhaka, which was a private institution. The school recognized his merit and potentialities by admitting him and offering him scholarship. History, Sanskrit, science, and astronomy were his favorite subjects. He studied Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, and other religions as well. Meanwhile, all Bengal Bible exam was conducted by Baptist Mission. Megnath also appeared in this exam. He stood first in the exam. he received a beautifully bound copy of the Bible along with ₹100 as a prize. The school, impressed by his sharp memory and dedication, admitted him there. Meghnath stood first in the entire East Bengal region in 1909 entrance exam of Calcutta University. In 1911, he passed the intermediate exam in first division as a student of Dhaka College, Dhaka University. In 1913, he passed BSc Honours in Mathematics from Calcutta University. In this exam, S.N. Bose stood first and Meghnad Saga came second. He received the MSc Mathematics degree from the same university in 1915. After completing MSc from Calcutta University, he tried to appear for Indian Finance Service, but the British government denied him the permission. The British government alleged that Saga was associated with the revolutionaries. The Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University, Ashutosh Mukherjee, appointed Meghnad Saga and S.N. Bose as the lecturers of mathematics in College of Science of Calcutta University. The mathematics department of Calcutta University was in utter disorder during those days. He had to face considerable difficulties in setting the department right. He had to indulge in heated discussions on this very issue with the head of the department, Professor Ganesh Prasad. Therefore, Meghnad Saga was transferred from mathematics department to physics department. He had to work hard to teach the MSc students because he himself studied physics only up to the BSc standard. But he proved to be a great teacher. Meanwhile, Meghnad Saga translated Einstein's relativity and quantum theory from German into English. In 1909, he learned the German language. During those days, he used to study in Dhaka College. It was compulsory to learn the German language there. The translation was published by the Calcutta University in 1919. In 1917, Meghnad Saga's research paper, Maxwell's Stresses, was published in Philosophical Magazine, a reputed science publication. The essay was well appreciated. Meghnad Saga was barely 24 years old at that time. Meghnad Saga went on adding more feathers to his cap. He had a microsensitive instrument through which he proved that when light falls on a micro object, it leads to pressure on the object. He measured this pressure. His theory came to be known as theory of light pressure. The Calcutta University gave him the degree of DSc in 1918 for this work and for his documented research on the subject of electromagnetic theory of spectrum pressure. In 1919, he received Premchand Raichand Scholarship and Guru Prasad Prayatni Fellowship of Calcutta University for his research paper Harvard Classification of Stellar Spectra, which allowed him to go to Europe. In 1920, Dr. Saga made an important discovery in stellar spectrum. His theory is known as Saga spectrum. Meghnad Saga propounded many theories in physics. These theories enabled scientists to solve many problems in physics. He further worked upon ionization formula. It helped scientists to understand the importance of spectral lines in spectrum easily. It proved quite useful to space explorers. They can easily find temperature, pressure, and the other parameters of the sun and the stars. This was a great achievement in astrophysics. This discovery has been considered as the 12th most surprising discovery in the world of science. He made several important discoveries in 1921 in the laboratory of Professor Fowler of Imperial College of Science, England, and of Professor Neinset, Germany. Meghnad Saga worked as a professor of physics from 1921 to 1923 in Calcutta University. From 1923 to 1938, he was the professor and head of physics department in Allahabad University. In 1927, he was nominated as a member of Royal Society. In 1938, Dr. Saga became the chairman of Indian Science Congress. Between 1930 to 38, he was the chairman of the National Science Academy. In 1938, he became professor again in Taraknath Palit Pitika of Physics in Science College, Calcutta University. He continued to work there till 1952. Meghnad Saga made a mark in the field of astrophysics which benefited the whole country. He was among the front-ranking contributors in the nuclear energy programs. His significant contribution was the principle of thermal ionization of atoms. The principle is considered to be quite important in the field of astronomy. This principle simplified mysterious theories of stars by explaining their physical properties. He solved many complexities of atomic and subatomic spectra by using this principle on the spectra of the stars. The discoveries made by Meghnad Saga helped him to find the main cause of natural events taking place in the sun and space around it. These discoveries made him a world-famous scientist. Saga also discovered a method to measure the age of rocks. Besides, he also made several discoveries regarding the radio waves. Saga also made important contribution to the development of astronomy. The famous astronomer Eddington has written about the discoveries made by Dr. Saga. Amongst the important discoveries in astronomy since the time of Galileo, one by the great Indian scientist Dr. Meghnath Saga has also been significant. The Royal Society of England made him the fellow when he was only 34 years old. Besides, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the Astronomical Society of America, and the Astronomical Society of France also offered him fellowship. In 1930, he was a fellow of Asiatic Society of Bengal. The Science Congress nominated him as its chairman, and he continued to work as a chairman from 1944 to 1946. The Institute of Physics, England, and the International Astronomical Society honored him by selecting him as a member. In 1940, Dr. Saga did research on the method of splitting an atom. In 1950, he established the Institute of Nuclear Physics and became its coordinator. Later on, this institute was renamed as Saga Institute of Nuclear Physics. The Nobel Prize winning scientist Dr. Irene J. Curie inaugurated it on January 11, 1950. In 1950, Dr. Saga got an instrument called cyclotron brought from foreign and he installed it in his institute. It was an important step forward for the institute as well as for the nation because this instrument had been installed for the first time in the country. In 1952, Dr. Saga was chosen as the chairman of Calendar Reform Committee by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. The Government of India adopted the new calendar in 1955, which was based upon his recommendations. He was also an independent member of Lok Sabha at that time. From 1952 to 1956, he worked as the Director of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. On February 16, 1956, he died near Parliament House due to heart attack. Meghnad Saga studied several books related to astronomy. He made significant contributions to atomic, molecular, and astronomical fields. Therefore, he received fellowships from many institutes. Saga established scientific institutes and actively contributed to their expansion. In 1934, he established the Science Academy in Allahabad. It is now known as National Institute of Science. Dr. Saga also established another National Institute of Science in 1935 in New Delhi. He was also the founder of Indian Science News Association in 1935. Besides, he established the Indian Physical Society and made a valuable contribution to the expansion of Indian Institution for the Cultivation of Science. In 1942, he founded the Institute of Hydronics and River Research of Bengal in Calcutta. The important discoveries made by Dr. Saga are as follows: the temperature principle, measurement science, spectrometry, nuclear structure, Dirac's nuclear principle. In 1934, Saga started the publication of monthly journal Science and Culture. He disseminated scientific knowledge through this magazine. Besides, Dr. Saga wrote several essays in other journals and edited different magazines as well. Dr. Saga and Satyendra Bose co-authored The Principle of Relativity. with B.N. Srivastava, who wrote the textbook of Heat. Its 4 editions had been published by 1958. These books occupied an important place in the world of science education. The other famous books authored by Dr. Saga are as follows: a treatise on the theory of relativity, on a physical theory of solar corona, a treatise on modern physics, a treatise on heat, my experience in Asia. Apart from science, Dr. Saga was also interested in several other fields. In 1930, when Subhash Chandra Bose was the President of Congress, Dr. Saga introduced the concept of national planning. He personally inspected the incident of recurring floods that took place in River Damodar and attracted the government's attention towards it. Due to his efforts, a dam was constructed on the swirling river. This led to the resolution of several problems of this area, such as farming, electricity, water, and floods. Dr. Saga established several laboratories across the nation. At the same time, he also worked towards the modernization. He was dead against the orthodoxy in religion and culture. This fact comes to the light through a series of lectures presented by Tagore. In this series of lectures, Tagore presented Saga's thoughts regarding the topic A New Philosophy of Life. Saga duly clarified the debate on science and spirituality in these lectures. Dr. Saga made a significant contribution to the field of science and astronomy. The scientists who conduct outstanding researches in different fields are awarded Dr. Meghnad Saga Memorial Prize every year in his memory. Dr. Saga was a kind and courageous scientist. Therefore, he could never forget his days of struggle. He used to help the poor students. He helped many poor students attain self-sufficiency. Dr. Saga is reckoned amongst the great scientists by the entire world. Apart from being a scientist, he was also a renowned teacher.